Lily first met Aaron Cross during the spring of her sophomore year. He was a transfer student, charming and effortlessly cool, with a way of making everyone feel seen. Aaron wasn't just popular, he was magnetic. Lily never thought someone like him would notice someone like her. But Aaron did. He struck up conversations in the cafeteria, walked her home from school, and shared stories about his dreams of becoming a musician. "I've never met anyone like you, Lily," Aaron said one evening as they sat on her porch. "You're the real deal." For Lily, it was like living in a fairy tale. Aaron wasn't just her boyfriend. He was her confidant, her biggest cheerleader, and her safe haven. But as seasons changed, so did Aaron. The first red flag was so subtle, Lily almost missed it. Aaron began canceling plans at the last minute. "Sorry, babe. Got caught up with some friends," he'd say, his tone dismissive. Then came the unexplained mood swings. One moment he'd be showering her with affection, and the next he'd snap over the smallest things. "Why are you always questioning me?" he'd bark if she asked why he was late. At first, Lily made excuses for him. "He's under a lot of stress," she told herself. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. One evening, during what was supposed to be a romantic date, Aaron's behavior turned alarming. His hands trembled as he spoke, his words slurred and incoherent. When Lily gently asked if he was okay, Aaron exploded. "Stop acting like my mom, Lily. You're suffocating me," he yelled before storming out. Lily was left sitting alone at the table, her heart sinking. Determined to understand what was happening, Lily began piecing together the puzzle. She noticed Aaron hanging out with a new group of friends, older, rougher, and with a reputation for trouble. One day, while Aaron was distracted, Lily peeked into his backpack. Inside, she found a small plastic bag containing white powder. Her breath caught in her throat. "Aaron, are you using drugs?" She confronted him that night. His reaction was immediate and explosive. "You're spying on me now. That's low, Lily," he shouted, avoiding her question entirely. But the truth was undeniable. The boy she had fallen in love with was slipping away, consumed by an addiction he refused to acknowledge. And Lily was left to navigate the fallout. Lily tried everything to help Aaron. She researched rehab centers, offered to go with him to support groups, and even covered for his erratic behavior when her parents grew suspicious. But nothing worked. Aaron grew increasingly volatile, blaming Lily for his struggles. "You're the reason I'm like this," he'd scream during their fights. Lily's world began to shrink. She stopped writing, stopped seeing friends, and spent every waking moment trying to save Aaron. But the more she gave, the more he took, leaving her emotionally drained and questioning her worth. Just as she was about to leave, she received a call from an unknown number. It was the police. Aaron had been arrested for possession of narcotics. Sitting in the station, waiting for Aaron to be released, Lily had an epiphany. This wasn't her fault. She had done everything she could, but Aaron's choices were his own. That night, as she lay awake in bed, she made a decision. She had to let him go, for her own sake. The next morning, Lily met Aaron at his house. He was defensive and dismissive as usual, but this time Lily didn't waver. "I love you, Aaron. I always will. But I can't destroy myself trying to save you," she said, her voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. Aaron laughed bitterly. "You're just like everyone else, a quitter." But Lily didn't let his words get to her. "No, Aaron, I'm not quitting. I'm choosing me." She walked away, her heart heavy but her spirit lighter than it had been in months. The weeks that followed were some of the hardest of Lily's life. She cried herself to sleep, avoided places that reminded her of Aaron, and fought the urge to call him. But day by day, she began to heal. She returned to writing, pouring her pain into stories that resonated with others. She reconnected with her friends, who welcomed her back with open arms. Lily also started seeing a therapist who helped her understand that Aaron's actions were not her responsibility. She learned to forgive herself and, eventually, to forgive Aaron. Years later, we see Lily in her late 20s. She's a published author, married to a kind, supportive man named James. Together, they have 2 children who light up their lives. As Lily watches her kids play in the yard, she reflects on her journey. "I thought Aaron was my forever," she says softly. "But sometimes love isn't enough. You have to save yourself first. True love doesn't break you, it builds you. And when you find it, you'll know your worth."